Going on, everybody? It's Key Time coming back with another one to talk about week 4 of the NFL season, which kicks off tonight. This is a make or break week in the NFL because after this week, a lot of teams are going to be staring the death of their playoff chances in the face because there has never been a team in the 105th year history of the NFL nor any other major sports league a team has started off 0-4 and made the playoffs. Not in the NFL, not in the NBA, not in the MLB, not even in the NHL. So that is some history for everybody out there that likes to keep track of sports history. That is a little history for you right there. But the first game I want to get into is my dearly beloved Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants. Dallas, we need to win this game. We really do. We really do. Dak, you need to score under pressure tonight. That's what you need to do. Score under pressure. That is exactly why I'm wearing this shirt. Scores under pressure. I'm gonna make sure all y'all get it. Let me back up a little bit. Yeah. Make sure all y'all get that. So yeah, this week it's about it's do or die, scoring under pressure. So Dallas, the last couple of games they've been up and down. Defense hasn't been able to stop anybody, and they've given up 75 points in the last two games on defense. And as far as Dak Prescott, I don't have any concerns with Dak Prescott. It's all about the defense. Can the defense get off the field on third down? Because they've had trouble doing that, even dating back to the first game of the season with the Cleveland Browns. They had trouble getting off the field against them. So when you look at it, New York Giants, they just played against the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns, they really are one of those bottom feeder teams this year. That's the way it looked now. But New York Giants, we know that they are not a pushover. And plus, this is a division game. So division games are always going to be close. Your division rivals know more about you than a team that you are playing outside of your division because they play you twice a year, and if you lucky, if you get in the playoffs, you might even play a third time. So your division opponents play you twice a year, so they know what you do best. It's about what can the Cowboys stop the Giants from what they do at their best. What the Giants do best is run the ball. Can they stop it? Over the past 6, 7 years, they've had trouble stopping the run. Tonight, they are going to have to stop the run in order have Daniel Jones throw his way to another win, like he did versus the Cleveland Browns on Sunday. Have him throw his way to another win. So, as of right now, according to the sports bet books, Dallas is a 6 point favorite. I got Dallas winning this game because this is the game that they need to win in order to save this. I'm going to say this in order to save their season because you do not want to go down one. You do not want to be 1-3, and then you have to play Philadelphia, San Francisco, Detroit, Tampa, and you also will have to play the Rams. So you don't want to do that because those are potentially 5 games that you are going to have to need in order to make the playoffs. So I got Dallas winning this game. The next game I want to talk about is the New Orleans Saints and Atlanta Falcons. So New Orleans had a slight bump in the road last week versus the Eagles, and Atlanta had a slight bump in the road versus the Kansas City Chiefs. So this game right here, I think that this is the kind of game. Even though Atlanta is favored, this is the kind of game where I believe New Orleans is going to go into Atlanta and win this game because right now The point spread on this game is 2.5. And we all know Kirk Cousins, he's a good quarterback, but when you start throwing any type of different coverage blitzes and different looks at him, and when that pressure starts to get in his face, he starts to get antsy, trying to do more than he can, and then he turns the ball over. So that is what I see from this game, and I see New Orleans winning this game. I expect Alvin Kamara to have a better game, and I expect Derek Carr to have a better game, and the entire offense with Chris Olave. Chris Olave, I believe he is the number one receiver in New Orleans now. Chris Olave, he's gonna have a better game, and Atlanta. Atlanta, they are a team that can make the playoffs, but I don't see them making a lot of noise in the playoffs. So that's what I see from this game. I got the New Orleans Saints winning this game by a touchdown or more. The next game I want to talk about is the Los Angeles Rams and Chicago Bears. Now, the Chicago Bears are favored in this game by 3 points. The Los Angeles Rams, they don't have Cooper Kupp. A lot of their secondary guys, not secondary guys, but a lot of their backups from the wide receiver position and the tight end position stepped up versus the 49ers, albeit the 49ers, they did let up a little bit and have a few turnovers in that game. So we still don't know how the Rams are, if they can win a game outright. So Chicago, we still don't know how they are. Can they win a game outright? They've been in every game. They've been in every game this year, and plus, when it comes to the game that they won versus the Tennessee Titans, they needed their special teams and defense to will them to victory. Their offense didn't do anything. So Caleb Williams, this is the week where you should be prosperous, where you should be able to make some hay and possibly win this game, because the Rams defense, they have injuries on defense already. Also, the Rams, they have given up an average of 27 points throughout the first 3 games of this season. And also, Matthew Stafford, he's just been a career average quarterback. That is all. Now, one thing I'm gonna do is I still got Chicago as my team, as my dark horse playoff team. So I got Chicago winning this game, because in order for Chicago to get to the playoffs, they have got to start a winning streak, and it has got to start this week. It has got to start this week. If they don't win this game, obviously they won't make the playoffs, because no team has ever started out a season 0-4. Now, credit, Chicago is 1-2 right now. If they lose this game, they will be 1-3. So they still have a chance at making the playoffs, but you don't want to start off the season 1-3 and then have to fight your way back into the playoff conversation by winning 3-4 straight games. If you can, that's great, but you don't want to put yourself in that position. So I got the Chicago Bears winning this game at home. The next game I want to talk about is the Minnesota Vikings and Green Bay Packers. This game right here, I believe that Green Bay will hold serve at home, because when you see what Minnesota has now, credit, this is the first time that Minnesota has started a season off 3-0 since 2016. That season they started off 5-0. made it to the playoffs, and lost to the Seattle Seahawks by a missed kick by Blair Walsh at the time. This season, Sam Darnold, starting quarterback, J.J. McCarthy was projected to be the starter, but he got injured early in the preseason. So it's been the Sam Darnold show for the Minnesota Vikings. But as far as the Green Bay Packers, they have shown a lot of resiliency since Jordan Love has went down. I'm hearing speculations that Jordan Love may come back week 7, 8, or 9. Somewhere in that time frame, he may come back between week 7 and week 9. But as well as the Green Bay Packers are looking, if Malik Willis can hold it together, just let Malik Willis play, and also when it comes to that, let him just keep being in the starting lineup. So I got Green Bay with this game. The next game I want to talk about is the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Indianapolis Colts. Both of these teams are the same as far as the same when it comes to being equally matched. You got Justin Fields for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you got Anthony Richardson for the Indianapolis Colts. Pittsburgh is favored in this game. Now, Pittsburgh, what they have done, they have brought their defense to all of these games. Indianapolis, they still a young and upcoming team, but if I'm Pittsburgh, I am not going to switch the starting lineup from Justin Fields to Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, he is on the veteran minimum. He's only making $1 million this year. Excuse me. Russell Wilson's only making $1 million this year. Veteran league minimum. Justin Fields, he has the perfect playbook. He only has to throw when he needs to. And it's not like it was in Chicago. In Chicago, he threw the ball 35, 40 times, sometimes more. Now, as far as Indianapolis may be able to make the playoffs, but as of right now, they have a lot of early season struggles. Hopefully those struggles are not detrimental when it comes to making the playoffs. But as far as this game, I got Pittsburgh winning this game. I just believe that the Pittsburgh defense will be able to cause 2 turnovers from the Colts, and that will win them the game. The next game I want to talk about is the Denver Broncos and the New York Jets. The New York Jets are flying high, no pun intended. Aaron Rodgers came off of a good game last week with the New England Patriots, albeit the New England Patriots are not like the New England Patriots that we saw over the last 20 years. And then you have a young guy in Bo Nix coming, who just got his first career win. And as far as the Denver Broncos, they are receiving more, I'm going to say, more exposure when it comes to like television and stuff. Not too many people talked about the Denver Broncos coming into the season, but like I said, coming into the season, the Denver Broncos will get a couple of upset wins. They weren't projected to win versus Tampa. That's where that upset win came in at. Tampa was favored by 5 points. They went in there, blew Tampa out, and now all of a sudden they have confidence that they can hold serve when it comes to these upper echelon teams in the NFL. So as far as this game, New York Jets are at home. They just won their first home game. I think that they can still build some momentum off of their first home game. And Aaron Rodgers, I believe he is back to the Aaron Rodgers that we saw in 2018, 19, and 20. So I got the New York Jets winning this game. Aaron Rodgers, he is going to have a breakout game. Breece Hall is going to have a breakout game. Braylon Allen is going to have a breakout game. Their tight end Trey Conklin, he is going to have a breakout game. And as far as the New York Jets defense as a whole is going to have a breakout game. So I got the New York Jets winning this game. The next game I want to talk about is the Philadelphia Eagles and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is where Philadelphia's season ended last year. Now, last week, Tampa, Baker Mayfield, he started off cold and he could not get on a hot streak. Philadelphia, they won a defensive game down in New Orleans, 15-12. So, was last week a fluke for both of these teams, or is that just a microcosm of what we gonna see when it comes to these two teams throughout the season? Will Baker Mayfield throw 2-3 interceptions a game, and will Philadelphia have trouble getting the right play call in and also running the ball? But did you see how the way they were running the ball in the fourth quarter versus the New Orleans Saints last week? I believe Philadelphia gonna be okay. But I think that since Tampa is at home and they want to get that bad taste out of their mouth, I think that Tampa will win this game, and it will be one of those upsets of the week. The next game I want to talk about is the Cincinnati Bengals and Carolina Panthers. Now, this game here, Cincinnati is between a rock and a hard place. They are 0-3. Only 5 teams since 1980 in the NFL realignment since the 1995 realignment of the NFL, there have only been 3 teams 0-3 to make it to the NFL playoffs. The Cincinnati Bengals are already 0-3. If they go to 0-4, they not making the playoffs, because no team has ever made the playoffs in any four of the major 4 sports. No team has ever made the playoffs starting off 0-4. So this, like I said when I started off the show, this is a make or break week for the Cincinnati Bengals. All the teams that are 0-3, it's a make or break week for them. Do I expect to see anything from Carolina? No, I don't, because we know Carolina is a dumpster fire. Y'all know how I feel about David Tepper, the GM of the Carolina Panthers, and also the whole organization as a whole, from their coaching staff to the players. Now, when it comes to Cincinnati, Joe Burrow coming into the season, Cincinnati had high hopes of making it to the playoffs and contending for the Super Bowl. After this week, they should be able to win versus Carolina, but like I said last week, they should have been able to win versus the Washington Commanders, but they didn't. But this game right here, I don't expect nothing else but a Cincinnati win. Carolina, this is a rebuilding year for them. We didn't expect nothing from them, and we're not going to get nothing from them. The next game I want to talk about is another 0-3 team. The 0-3 Jaguars versus the Houston Texans. Now, When will the Jaguars get their first win? It's hard to say when they will get their first win because after Houston, they have 2 games. No, excuse me. After Houston, they have the Indianapolis Colts, and then they have 2 games in London. So Indianapolis Colts are already one of those young and upcoming teams that can make some noise and potentially give these upper echelon teams some problems. And also Chicago, that's another team that could give the Jaguars some problems. Houston, on the other hand, I see Houston winning this game. Jaguars will be 0-4 after this game. I wouldn't be surprised if Houston blows out the Jaguars just like the Buffalo Bills did on Monday Night Football. And last week, Houston, they had an off game. Now, credit, they were playing the Minnesota Vikings, but I believe last week for Houston was a one-off. I mean, getting blown out 34-7, that was a one-off. This week, I expect CJ Stroud to get Stephon Diggs involved, Tank Dell, get them tight ends involved, get the running backs involved, and on the defensive side, I expect them to get at least 2 or 3 turnovers because they couldn't get a stop last week in Minnesota, and that is not like a Houston Texans defense led by head coach DeMeco Ryans. DeMeco Ryans came from a defensive team. He was a defensive player himself. And did y'all see what he said in the press conference? He said in the press conference, everybody has an off game. That's what he said. Last week was an off game for them. This week, you playing against a divisional opponent. The divisional opponent is a little bit undermanned. They might be able to make some noise, and then they might not. They might lay another goose egg like the Jaguars did in Buffalo. But all in all, I got Houston winning this game because you don't know what you're going to see from the Jaguars. And the GM for the Jaguars, Trent Baalke, and also owner Shad Khan, what do you need to do? You said that you had the best team assembled ever, but it's not looking like it out there on the field. Hey, got a whole lot of questions to think about if you are associated with the Jacksonville Jaguars. The next game I want to talk about is the Washington Commanders and the Arizona Cardinals. Both of these teams are young, so you might see a shootout in this game, and then you might see a defensive struggle. But Jaden Daniels, the Washington Commanders quarterback, he is not afraid to go for it on 4th down. I can tell you that much. Like I said, I saw him in the Cincinnati Bengals game Monday night. He went for it on 4th down 3 times and got all 3 of those 4th down conversions. Arizona, one of the bottom of the barrel teams. Don't expect much from them. By the time we get to Thanksgiving, Christmas, Arizona will be out of the playoff conversation completely. Washington, another team, another young and upcoming team, possibly could be at the bottom of the barrel in the NFL. But this game, I see Arizona winning this game just because Washington, they are last in total defense. And also when it comes to 3rd down defense, they are 29th in getting off the field on 3rd down. Arizona, they are in a place in the season where if you win 2 or 3 games, you may have a chance at making some noise in your division. But one thing about it is you still have Seattle to play. You still have the Rams to play again, also in their stadium. And you also have some tough games versus some AFC teams, top notch competition. So, this game right here, Arizona should win, and I believe they will. The next game I want to talk about is the New England Patriots and San Francisco 49ers. This is going to be a blowout. So, even with all of the people that are out for the 49ers, I still think this game will be a blowout because New England, Jacoby Brissett, Jacoby Brissett is not the guy. Would you start Drake May this game if you are Gerard Mayo, head coach of the New England Patriots? Maybe. But I know if he doesn't start Drake May in this game, before the end of the season, he is gonna start Drake May in this game because Jacoby Brissett, he ain't showing you nothing on tape. I mean, y'all can go back and see his highlights from all of these games, from the Cincinnati game, from the Seattle game, from the New York Jets game. He didn't show any type of big play potential against none of these teams. And you're going to have him back there for a whole season. Look, New England Patriots, one of those teams that will be at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to being later on in the season, when it comes to they just getting ready. They just need to go ahead and get ready for the draft. Teams that need to go ahead and get ready for the draft is Carolina Panthers and the New England Patriots currently. But everybody else, they still in play. But as far as this game, I see this game being a blowout. As far as right now, the 49ers are favored by 10. I believe they will cover that and win this game outright. The next game I want to talk about is the Cleveland Browns and the Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders, they lost. I believe they took the Carolina Panthers lightly last week. I really do. And even Antonio Pierce said that in his weekly press conference, said that, hey, some of our players were acting like slackers out there, and they were missing tackles, getting penalties here and there. They had about 12, 13 penalties in the game, which Antonio Pierce doesn't like. He said that he wanted his team to be one of the least penalized teams in the NFL. But when it comes to the Raiders, that is easier said than done. But this game right here, I expect the Las Vegas Raiders to win this game. The Cleveland Browns, you don't know what you're going to see from him. Deshaun Watson, well, I wonder what happened to Deshaun Watson because we are a long way from the Deshaun Watson that we saw in Houston 5 years ago. The Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson is a mediocre to average to bad at best. I'm going to say that again. Deshaun Watson in Cleveland is mediocre to average to bad at best. I mean, this guy last season he had like 3 games where he threw over 300 yards. And then he got injured. Then this season, first game, coming against Dallas, wasn't able to do much. Then the game versus the Jaguars, wasn't able to do much, but got a win. And then last week versus the Giants, he wasn't able to do much. He got sacked 4 times and lost the game. This game right here, Las Vegas, they should be able to win this game because the offensive line for the Cleveland Browns, they have one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL up to this point. After the first 3 games, Cleveland Browns have one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. So I got the Las Vegas Raiders winning this game. Las Vegas is favored by 2 in this game. So if you're going to bet the point spread, bet the point spread. But hey, if I were y'all, I'm not a big betting man, but if I were y'all, I would pick Las Vegas. I would bet Las Vegas to win this game because you don't know what you're gonna see from the Cleveland Browns. The next game I want to talk about, and this is one of the big games for Week 4. You got the Kansas City Chiefs, and you got the Los Angeles Chargers. Jim Harbaugh gets his first chance to see if he could beat the Kansas City Chiefs, which it seems like has over the last 2 or 3 years have been the impossible when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs. So Patrick Mahomes, weekly press conference, he said that he hasn't been playing up to par. The wide receivers, running backs, and tight ends haven't been playing up to par. Travis Kelce, he's only had 4 catches this season. He said that he needs to do better. The defense, they have been hold and serve dating back to last season. They have went 10 straight games without giving up 30 points. I'm going to say that again. 10 straight games without giving up 30 points. Los Angeles, on the other hand, last season, that was a dumpster fire. Brandon Staley's out. Jim Harbaugh is in. And the first 3 games, you won 2 out of your first 3 games. And on the defensive side, you have given up an average of 19 points per game. So this game right here, it is going to be a close game. Make no mistake about it. I believe the Chiefs win on a walk-off field goal in this game. Even though Kansas City is favored by a touchdown, I believe the game is going to be much closer to that. I wouldn't even be surprised if the Kansas City Chiefs win this game by 1 point. Because both defenses are top-notch. When you see both of these 2 defenses, they are in the top 10 already. Coming early in the season. Both of these teams, let's see. Kansas City is 6 in total defense, and the Chargers are number 3 in total defense. So this is going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight. This is going to be a close game. But at the end of the day, the Chiefs is going to win this game. The Los Angeles Chargers, they are a young and upcoming team. They playing up against the big boys this week. They might be able to stay with them, but Kansas City will win in the end. Okay, Sunday Night Football. Buffalo Bills, Baltimore Ravens. Both of these teams have come off a win from last week. Buffalo against the Jaguars, Baltimore against my dearly beloved Cowboys. This game right here, Buffalo will not be able to win this game. I got the Baltimore Ravens winning this game. I believe Zay Flowers will go off, Derrick Henry will go off, Lamar Jackson will go off, and the Ravens defensive unit will go off. Now, like I said, Josh Allen, he has been prone to throw interceptions in games like this, and I believe that he will throw interceptions like this. Last week, they was looking over his stats. He was 12 of 15 for 146 yards, and I had said to myself, that's because he's not throwing the ball down the field. When Josh Allen throws the ball down the field, his completion efficiency rate drops. If he throws a pass more than 20 yards, his completion efficiency rate is only 45%. Now, passes under 20 yards, he is 65%. So This game right here, the Ravens, they're going to stuff the run, and Josh Allen is going to have to throw his way to a win in Baltimore, and I just don't see that happening. So, the Baltimore Ravens will win this game. Currently, the Baltimore Ravens are a 2.5-point favorite, and that's all I got. That's all I have for this game. Now, as far as Monday night, we got a doubleheader. We got 2 Monday night football games: Tennessee and Miami, Seattle and Detroit. Tennessee and Miami last season, they faced off on Monday Night Football, and Miami was up by 2 scores with under 5 minutes left in the game and ended up losing that game. Now, Miami has Skylar Thompson in the starting lineup. They are going to have to, I'm going to say, minimize the playbook for Skylar Thompson because he has been a career backup. We saw what he did versus the Seattle Seahawks. And also, he didn't show much. He didn't show much success against the Seattle Seahawks. Then you have Tennessee. Tennessee, Will Levis, he's turnover prone. I'm going to just go ahead and say it. He's turnover prone, and I think that he is going to throw a few interceptions in this game, and I believe Miami will win this game. It might be a defensive struggle, but either way, Miami is going to win this game because I don't trust Will Levis right now, and I especially do not trust the Tennessee Titans offense. So Miami is going to win this game, and the last game of Week 4 in the NFL is the Seattle Seahawks and the Detroit Lions. Both of these teams are equally matched. Good quarterback play, Geno Smith, Jared Goff. Wide receivers, DK Metcalf, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Running backs, Kenneth Walker, Jahmyr Gibbs. Defensively, they are at the same rate. They are evenly matched on defense. Seattle's defense is good. They are a top 10 defense. Detroit Lions defense, they are in the top 10 right now currently as we speak. This is going to be a close game. This is going to be Seattle and Detroit is going to be one of those games. I'm going to just go ahead and say it. This is going to come down to the last possible possession. This might even come down to the last possible second in the game because both of these teams in this game are equally matched. Who do I have winning this game? I got Detroit winning this game. They are at home. Last time they played at home, they played Tampa. They didn't look too great, and I think that they want to get that bad taste out of their mouth and serve up some home cooking for those diehard Detroit Lion fans. And with that, those are my predictions for Week 4 in the NFL for the 2024 NFL season. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification bell to get notified of all of my reaction videos, shows, and other content. And also follow Key City Sports on TikTok. And remember one last thing, the key is always on time.